Breaking news. Kensington Palace has just released an urgent announcement, and this time, it's not speculation. Princess Catherine is officially returning. But the real question is, what does this return actually look like? The palace has now revealed Catherine's 2026 activity roadmap, and the details are already raising eyebrows. This isn't a symbolic appearance or a quiet step back into view. It's a carefully structured comeback, one that signals intention, timing, and long-term presence. Earlier this month, Catherine made a deeply moving visit to frontline healthcare workers, and that was only the beginning. Royal sources suggest the upcoming schedule is being rolled out in phases, more frequent, more visible, and far more strategic than many expected. Her return is already sending a powerful wave through the public, and once again, the question is unavoidable. Is the Catherine effect back? According to royal experts, the answer is clear. Not only is it returning, it's gaining momentum. From compassion-driven engagements to moments that redefine royal imagery, every appearance now carries weight. And if this 2026 roadmap is any indication, we may be witnessing a defining year for Catherine's role within the monarchy. So what happens next? Which appearances will mark her most meaningful return yet? Stay right here, because the details coming up may surprise you. The roadmap to Renaissance. Folks, the wait is officially over. The royal renaissance of Catherine, the Princess of Wales, has not just begun. It's moving at an absolutely breathtaking pace. The opening days of 2026 have already shown us a Catherine who is more radiant and energized than we've seen in years. Coming right off the heels of her deeply moving visit to frontline healthcare workers at Charing Cross Hospital on January 8th, the princess sent shockwaves through the media. On January 15th, she officially took center stage at Windsor Castle to host the world champion England women's rugby team. That was the moment Catherine truly reclaimed her territory. Seeing the princess stand so confidently, welcoming world-class athletes into that historic royal residence, sent a crystal-clear message to the world. Catherine isn't just back, she is leading the way. But here's the breaking update you've been waiting for. This is only the beginning. This coming Tuesday, January 20th, the princess's roadmap shifts into high gear as she heads north. Alongside Prince William, she'll be on the ground in Stirling and Falkirk, Scotland. Operating under her title as the Duchess of Rothesay, Catherine will be diving straight into heritage projects and local community initiatives. This rapid-fire sequence of events reveals something vital. Catherine's comeback roadmap is anything but accidental. From these intimate community connections to high-profile solo duties, every single move signals a masterfully calculated strategy for what is shaping up to be a busy and era-defining 2026. The Battle of the Cambridges and the royal rugby spirit. But this comeback is proving to be about far more than official appearances and carefully staged engagements. Running alongside Catherine's return to public duty is the revival of a familiar and distinctly royal rivalry that the public knows well. As recent events unfold, it's increasingly clear that Catherine isn't merely showing up, she's reasserting a competitive presence that has always been central to her public identity. In her role as patron of the Rugby Football Union, Catherine has long been closely aligned with English rugby, while Prince William continues to represent Welsh rugby in his own patronage. Over the years, this has created what insiders often describe as a friendly but very real sporting rivalry within the household. And at this moment, the balance of power is unmistakable. England's women's rugby team currently holds the title of world champions, while Wales finds itself placed 12th in the international rankings, a contrast that has not gone unnoticed, either publicly or behind palace doors. Sources close to the royal family suggest that this dynamic has reintroduced a lighter, more personal dimension to Catherine's return. Figures such as Mike Tindall have previously highlighted her competitive instincts, frequently pointing to what he has called her formidable internal engine. This reputation didn't emerge overnight. It has been built steadily through years of visible involvement, from her appearances at Twickenham to her hands-on engagement with players, coaches, and grassroots initiatives connected to the sport. The recent reception at Windsor Castle must therefore be viewed in a broader context. While it formally marked England's rugby success, it also functioned as a subtle signal. It underscored Catherine's ability to combine the gravitas of royal duty with an authentic enthusiasm for sport, a balance that continues to resonate strongly with the public and media alike. This was not simply a ceremonial moment. It was a reminder of how naturally she operates in spaces that blend tradition with modern relevance. As her public schedule begins to accelerate, Catherine's renewed visibility in the sporting world is being closely monitored by royal watchers. Observers note that this is not a nostalgic callback or symbolic gesture. Instead, it appears to be part of a broader re-engagement strategy, one that reinforces her active role, her personal passions, and her continued connection with audiences beyond the palace walls. Taken together, this resurgence of the so-called Battle of the Cambridges serves as another indicator that Catherine's return is both substantive and ongoing. It is not a single moment, but a series of calculated reappearances that collectively point to a princess fully back in motion, competitive spirit included. From the rugby pitch to the royal tiara. But if anyone believes that a high-energy rugby reception represents the peak of Catherine's comeback, it may be time to look again. The tone is now shifting. The focus is moving away from the roar of the stadium and toward the most powerful stage in royal life. All current signals from the palace suggest that Catherine is preparing for what could become a defining tiara moment later this March, one carefully positioned to command global attention. As preparations intensify for the upcoming Nigerian state visit, Catherine is expected to take on a role of unusual prominence in the proceedings. This is not a routine appearance. It is a moment layered with diplomatic, symbolic, and institutional weight. And while the fashion world is already watching closely, this moment goes far beyond jewels and gowns. Yes, there is intense anticipation surrounding Catherine's choice of tiara. Observers are speculating whether she may return to the iconic lover's knot, a piece now inseparable from her public image, or whether she could debut a rarely seen historic tiara from the late Queen's private collection. Either choice would carry meaning, but the true significance lies not in what she wears, but in what the moment represents. This state visit carries particular importance, marking nearly 4 decades since the last formal Nigerian state visit in 1989. With such a long gap, expectations are high, and every visual element will be closely interpreted. Royal analysts suggest that Catherine's presence at the state banquet at Windsor Castle is likely to serve as a clear visual statement about stability, continuity, and the monarchy's future direction. What we are witnessing is a quiet but unmistakable transition. Catherine is no longer positioned solely as a supportive figure alongside the institution. She is increasingly being placed at the center of moments that matter, especially those involving diplomacy and international representation. This is how authority is signaled in royal terms, not through announcements, but through placement and visibility. By moving seamlessly from hands-on community engagement in Scotland to the candlelit grandeur of St. George's Hall, Catherine is demonstrating a rare range. She is connecting the everyday realities of public life with the most formal traditions of the crown. And if the signals are correct, the appearance of a tiara this March will not be treated as a fashion highlight alone, but as a carefully calibrated moment in a much larger narrative. This is not about spectacle. It is about timing, positioning, and readiness. And as this chapter continues to unfold, it is becoming increasingly clear that Catherine's role within the monarchy is entering a more consequential phase. The rise of a future queen. As we close this breaking update, one conclusion is impossible to ignore. The Catherine effect is not simply back. It has entered a new phase. From muddy rugby pitches to the most formal halls of royal power, the Princess of Wales is projecting continuity, confidence, and readiness at every level. This is the crucial point. The 2026 roadmap is not about filling engagements, it is about positioning. By stepping into high-stakes international diplomacy while maintaining visible, grassroots connections in places like Scotland, Catherine is no longer easing her way forward. She is actively defining her path toward the throne. This moment marks a clear shift. Catherine is no longer a supporting figure within the institution. She has become one of the monarchy's strongest bridges between tradition and the future, capable of commanding authority while remaining deeply relatable to the public. So the question now is not whether her influence has grown. It is how far it will extend. Will it be seen in the competitive spirit of the rugby field, or in the long-anticipated tiara moment at Windsor? Either way, every appearance from this point forward carries added weight. The world is watching. The next chapter is already unfolding. And as this royal comeback continues, we will be here to bring you every headline-making moment as it happens.